up, everybody? Welcome to the Grand Scheme. This is Gran here. Today I want to do something a bit different for the channel, even though it's something that a lot of other channels do already, and that is to give you a video of my most recent Alliance War that we finished up yesterday, June 23rd, 2017. The reason I'm doing this is twofold, really. I think it's a great idea to put the videos out there to help you see how I fight against the nodes on my path with specific champions, but also just as a kind of record for my own reference, because a lot of times we'll face the same opponents more than once, and it would be nice to be able to look back to see what opponents we faced, how we did against the Alliance, and things like that. And so this Alliance War, we faced an alliance that we have fought in the past, and unfortunately was not on our history in-game, because there's only 10 wars recorded there. This is the Legion de Vengadores, and they are an alliance that is very close to our alliance, only a 1-point difference in Alliance War rating. And as far as alliance rating, they're a 9.3 million alliance, and right now we're at about 9.8, I believe, 9.98 million, and so a very close war. It said they had 29 players, but they actually had 30 place on defense. It looked like they placed 30 and then had one drop out. So the first thing that I do when Alliance War begins is to spectate and just to scope out the layout. Where the defenders are placed. It's usually pretty standard, but sometimes you get some changes, and I like to know that before going in, since I orchestrate our attack. Also, I want to see who the boss is, which most of the time it's going to be magic, so no surprise there. This is the team that I bring in for Alliance War attack. I bring Hawkeye because of his bleed, and because I have strike back nodes. His first special actually counters that strike back, as well as the power gain node on node 43. I take Daredevil because I hit unblockable first special and unblockable second special, and then my third is my rank 4 Storm, just because of the damage that she can do there, although she does vary at times. Might bring in someone else besides her occasionally. When we start the war, the first node that I usually hit is open. That's node 2, and so that was a free node for us. And then I hit node 5, unblockable first special, and power start first special. Now, the last few wars, this really changes who is here, but the last few wars has been Cyclops, and it does end up being Cyclops here. And I'm going to pause this just for a moment. I don't really mind using Daredevil against Cyclops with the class disadvantage. It's not really a problem. Their Cyclops is not particularly hard to fight, but it is kind of annoying to use Daredevil because Cyclops specials are easy to evade and counter with any other champion. We've had a lot of practice against Cyclops, with him being the mini-boss in the previous season of Alliance War, and so I would actually rather have brought in anybody else besides Daredevil here, and the reason is when Daredevil's auto-evade kicks in, it makes it very hard to counter the special attacks, because he is controlling the animation and I'm no longer controlling it. And so what I have to do with Daredevil typically, especially against Cyclops, is let him evade and then either intercept or parry, rather than counter, which I would much rather do with another champion. Another thing you'll see here, though, is that Daredevil actually did save me here towards the beginning of the fight, because Cyclops is going to play a little defensively. He's going to back up and block there, and I dash in to hit the block to make him stop blocking and to attack me, but he does before I get there. And so luckily Daredevil here evades this. If I had brought in anybody else, I would have just eaten a first special there. You'll also notice that this person, Perezno, has the mastery on, which gives him the cruelty buff with the auto evade. I can't remember what that's called off the top of my head. I don't have that mastery, so I always forget what it's called. Unfazed that's the name of it, Unfazed. And so he's got that there. I understand the logic of that because we're anticipating that Daredevil is going to be the attacker, so you've got unfazed, you've got class advantage. And so if a person messes up and gets hit by Cyclops here, then that's going to do a lot of damage. But again, unfortunately for them, Cyclops just is not a difficult champion to fight. Another thing that happens here is he's going to block again, and so after he's auto-evaded, he's going to creep up a little bit. I'm going to try to use another medium attack to go in and hit Cyclops while he's blocking once again, and this time it messes up again. Rather than registering a medium attack as the beginning of a 5-hit combo, the medium attack registers as the final hit of a 5-hit combo, and I end up taking a few punches here. So you'll see that, or rather a few kicks, and get some damage done there. So the rest of the fight goes pretty smoothly. There's the auto evade, and then the parry and the counter, which is how I fight him the rest of the fight. But the only other damage that I take here is going to be from the parry damage, and there's one or two places where I have some block damage. But other than that, the fight goes pretty smoothly. You'll see unfazed kick in here again. There's 2 cruelty buffs up, and so again, if I did mess up and took some damage or took some hits like I had previously, then would have lost quite a bit of health here. So I'll let this one play out. And that special one with a stun, and done. Now after this fight, I head to the right side, but first I let my teammates hit node 6, and I don't remember the next node, but that one right there in the middle. And then I hit node 19, unblockable second special. Now, this one typically for me is Hood quite a bit, sometimes Dormammu or Doctor Strange, but typically one of those with Mystic Dispersion. Here it ends up being Ultron, which is a little bit surprising for me because Ultron's second special is not particularly difficult to evade. I used to see him here quite a bit, but he's very rarely here for me now. So I'm kind of happy to see him here. It should be an easy fight. But I do fail to account for his auto-evade, and so right here he evades and counters and clips me. And I get a bleed, and at this point I'm thinking the fight is over, but got lucky in that that bleed stopped just before I got KO'd. But I'm still thinking that I need to play almost perfectly at this point, because if I take a whole lot of those blocked hits there like I just did, I'm going to lose this fight. Luckily, Daredevil has a very high block proficiency and perfect block chance, and so I was able to sustain several parries and a few blocked hits, and able to finish Ultron off, use a special here to place the stun and stop the self-repair, and there the fight is over. Now after this fight I head north and hit node 28. And 28 is a stun immune node with strike back. So if I use a special attack, then I'm going to give them an extra bar of power. My plan here is to use Storm because of her damage output. Hopefully be able to finish this fight off more quickly. Also, I'm anticipating a Nightcrawler here, or a Juggernaut. Those are the two most common champions. Nightcrawler by far the most common. Not really too worried about him. With Storm I can typically change his mode pretty easily, and once that happens the fight is over pretty quickly. But I was in for a surprise here because it ends up being Spidey, which he is here commonly, but I haven't seen him a whole lot here recently. But I do panic a little bit because I hate fighting Spider-Man. He is my nemesis, and so I decide what I'm going to do is just work on blocking. I'm not going to worry about intercepting anything like that because he can even evade intercepts. So I figure I'm just going to block and let him try the heavy attacks and counter him when he's done with his combo or with his heavy. And I do get caught a few times here with the evade and with his evade and counter. And also, you'll notice here in a minute, he hits me with the second blast of his first special a few times. I'm usually pretty good about evading those, but I do get clipped with the second blast of that special attack sometimes, which I typically don't worry about because willpower will make up for that. But I forgot I'm not running willpower here. The other thing that I should have thought about strategically is to take advantage of this strike back. And so you'll notice here I'm gonna do some decent damage and place a shock on him, which is gonna do more, but you see it pushed him to his second special, which is much easier to evade and counter than the first special. And I didn't think about utilizing that before. I should have thought of that going in here. And so I do end up losing Storm in this fight. Got caught by the evade there again, and again by the first special. And so here he's going to end up hitting me while I'm blocking, and I'm thinking that at this point, if he uses a medium attack, sometimes you can evade out of a blocked combo between the third line attack and the last medium attack. So I'm thinking if I can evade out of that combo and use a second special, then I might be able to knock him out. And so I attempt to do that, and instead of evading, she drops her block and gets KO'd. I'm not too worried about this though, because again, one death against Spider-Man on node 28 is actually pretty good. I'm used to seeing him, and when he is there getting 6 or 8 kills is not uncommon. So I go in and finish him off with Hawkeye. At this point, Assassin, he's very close to Assassin range, and he gets there after just a few hits, and so there's a few evades, one there, and I think another one here in just a minute, but managed to take him down with Hawkeye in 10 hits without losing very much health at all, and so Spider-Man is down. Now after node 28, I have to let my alliance mates handle node 36, I believe is the number there. The Thorns and Unblockable first special, and then again I head north and hit node 43 for the power gain. This champion I used to fight Magic a lot, and she was really a pain with her limbo, constantly being at her first special, constantly in limbo. But this makes 5 wars in a row that I've faced Hyperion here. Now, I get the logic of Hyperion because he has such a strong power gain already. On top of the power gain here, he has the potential to hit that third special very quickly. But the drawback is Hyperion throws his special attacks so readily. It's so easy to bait out his first special and even his second special that he hasn't been a problem. I've been able to solo him every time. Plus this power drain does not affect Hawkeye too much because I can get to his first special pretty easy. Now here at the beginning of the fight I do mess up. I forget about that final punch of Hyperion. I didn't evade far enough back, and so I got hit by it. But the rest of the fight is fairly straightforward and fairly easy. I do lose my power here the first time this timer runs out because I'm worrying about evading rather than just getting to him to parry, or getting him to attack and parrying him and using that first special. I could have even pushed him to 3 bars and had that first special ready. It wouldn't have been a problem. But I lose my power there, and so I do have to bait out a few more specials than I typically would have. But again, not a problem, just because he is so ready to throw those. Hit the first special finally right there before the timer runs out, and you can see doing 243 damage on the bleed, and willpower is only making up 69 of that, so it's not a problem. By the time that bleed runs out, he's in assassin range, and he's down. And it also helps that this champion had recoil, so not a very smart positioning, I think, on the side of our opponents. So that was my my run on my lane. Only 1 death, so I'm pretty happy with that. This war we actually did not get a chance to fight the boss, and unfortunately we did end up losing the war here. And the reason for that is we could have dropped our boss in my Battle Group 3. Battle Group 2 could have dropped the boss as well if we had decided to use a couple of revives to do so. But this alliance that we faced, they revived quite a bit in order to kill the Battle Group 2 and Battle Group 3 bosses. And so even if we dropped those two bosses, we could have won this war with those two boss kills because of our defender kills were better and our exploration was a little bit better. But they were also in a position, if they wanted to, and I think they would have given the history with how they spent to clear Alliance War, or Battle Groups 2 and 3, they could have easily spent to kill the first battle group, and our first battle group just was not in a position to take the boss. And so we made a decision as officers in our alliance to go ahead and give this Alliance War a pass and focus on the next one. And so that is how the most recent Alliance War went. I hope that this has helped you to think about how you might fight these nodes if you do fight the same nodes in Alliance War. And hopefully next time we face this alliance, we'll be better prepared beforehand how to approach the war, hopefully secure a victory. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. I look forward to creating some more of these Alliance War videos for you. If you like the video, if you appreciate it, then please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know what you think. And as always, share and subscribe. This is Gran here. I will catch you next time right here on the Grand Scheme. Until then, smoke it down. Thanks a lot, guys.